Now we can see the features on the external surface. This is the external surface of the body. Possess symphysis mentae. Symphysis mentae, a ridge. It is a ridge which can be seen upper part of the body, that is symphysis mentae. Then mental protuberance, a triangular raised area is the mental protuberance. Mental tubercles, the two lateral edges, this one and this one, two lateral edges of mental protuberance are formed as a raised part or a tubercle. It is named as mental tubercles or mental tuberosity. Two lateral edges of the mental protuberance are mental tubercles. This is mental foramen. The mental foramen is an opening below the interval between first and second premolars. You can see there is an opening that is named as the mental foramen. Through the mental foramen, mental nerves and vessels emerges out. Through the mental foramen, mental nerves and vessels emerges out. Now the external oblique line is another feature on the external surface. The external oblique line, the obliquely passing raised area. This is the external oblique line. To the external oblique line, there is the attachment of the structures origin of buccinator. The posterior part of external oblique line gives origin of buccinator. Area below the oblique line gives insertion of platysma. Posterior aspect of external oblique line gives origin to buccinator muscle. Below the oblique line, it gives insertion of platysma. Next feature is the incisive fossa. Incisive fossa is the depression which can be seen below the incisor tooth. This is the lower incisor set of tooth. So below that there is incisive fossa, a shallow depression. It gives origin to muscles named as mentalis. So from here muscle mentalis originates. A part of orbicularis oris muscle originate from the incisive fossa. So these are the features present on the external surface. The symphysis mentae, mental protuberance, mental tubercle, mental foramen, external oblique line. Now the internal aspect of the body. The internal surface shows a faint ridge. This ridge is the mylohyoid line or mylohyoid ridge or the internal oblique line. Internal oblique line. That is running downward on each side from the third molar tooth to symphysis mentae. It is running downward from the third molar to the symphysis mentae. Symphysis mentae is the position at the median plane. This will divide the internal surface into two. The upper sublingual fossa, lower submandibular fossa. It divides the surface into two, upper sublingual fossa, lower submandibular fossa. The line gives origin to the muscle mylohyoid throughout its length. Mylohyoid line, hence it is called as, because of the origin of mylohyoid muscle. The superior constrictor muscle originating from its posterior end. Superior constrictor muscle and the mylohyoid muscles originating from the mylohyoid line. Above and behind the posterior end. Above and behind the posterior end, there is the attachment of pterygomandibular raphe. Above and behind the mylohyoid line, there is the attachment of pterygomandibular raphe. There is a groove for the lingual nerve, the position where you can see the lingual nerve. There is a groove for the lingual nerve above the mylohyoid line, just below the last molar tooth. This is the passage of lingual nerve. Last molar tooth, below the last molar tooth, there is the passage of lingual nerve. Above the groove, there is the superior constrictor muscle. Superior constrictor muscle and the pterygomandibular raphe. Above the groove, there is the superior constrictor muscle and the pterygomandibular raphe attaches. The submandibular fossa. This depression is submandibular fossa, which lodges submandibular salivary gland, submandibular lymph nodes and facial artery. Submandibular fossa. Sublingual fossa, above the mylohyoid. Sublingual fossa, which lodges sublingual salivary gland. Sublingual salivary gland. Genial tubercle. Genial tubercles are the projections at the median plane. Genial tubercles. Two sets of genial tubercles can be seen, upper set and lower set. Upper tubercles gives origin to genioglossus muscle. Lower set gives origin to geniohyoid muscle. Two sets of genial tubercles gives origin to genioglossus, upper one, geniohyoid from the lower part. Mylohyoid groove. Mylohyoid groove is the groove below the mylohyoid line. The mylohyoid groove is a depression or groove below the mylohyoid line, lodges the nerve to mylohyoid muscle, which supplies mylohyoid and the anterior belly of digastric muscle. The mylohyoid groove or mylohyoid canal lodges nerve to mylohyoid and mylohyoid vessels. So this groove lodges mylohyoid nerves and vessels. Mylohyoid for the nerve supply of mylohyoid muscle and anterior belly of digastric muscle. These are the internal and external features. At the internal features, mylohyoid line, sublingual fossa, submandibular fossa, genial tubercle, mylohyoid groove. Borders. The upper border. Upper border is the alveolar part. Upper border, alveolar part. It presents 16 sockets on each side for lodging the roots of the teeth, named from before backward, medial or first incisor, lateral or second incisor, canines, first premolar, second premolar, first molar, second molar and third molar. The lower border or the base, lower border of mandible or the base. The lower border, otherwise known as base, it is rounded and continuous with the lower border of ramus from the third molar. Lower border of body continuous with the lower border of ramus from the third molar. Digastric fossa is a depression. Digastric fossa is a depression, can be seen shallow depression on either side of midline. On either side of midline, a shallow depression can be seen, that is digastric fossa, gives origin to anterior belly of digastric. Below the lower border of external oblique line, there is the attachment of insertion of platysma. Attachment of insertion of platysma and the investing layer of deep cervical fascia extending from the midline to the angle of mandible. Extending from the midline to the angle. This is the angle of mandible. Extending from midline to the angle of mandible, there is investing layer of deep cervical fascia attaches. The ramus of the mandible. This is the ramus of the mandible. The ramus possesses it is like a quadrilateral plate with two processes, anterior coronoid process, posterior condyloid process. Condyloid process is flat, coronoid process is pointed. Two surfaces, external surface and internal surface. External surface and internal surface. Four borders. Anterior border, upper border, lower border, posterior border. Anterior border, upper border, posterior border, lower border. External surface, otherwise lateral surface. Flat, rough, gives or insertion of masseter muscle. It is rough because of insertion of masseter muscle. At the posterior part, it is smooth. There is lodging of parotid gland. Lodging of parotid gland. A posterior part is smooth. It is the covering of parotid gland can be seen here. The mandibular foramen. On the medial surface. On the medial surface there is an opening, that is mandibular foramen. The mandibular foramen opens externally as mental foramen. So a canal passes in between mandibular foramen and mental foramen. Mandibular canal. So mandibular foramen present at the internal aspect or the medial surface of ramus of mandible transmits inferior alveolar nerves and vessels. Inferior alveolar nerves and vessels passing through mandibular foramen emerges as mental nerves and vessels. The terminal branches of inferior alveolar nerves and vessels. Lingula, a tongue-like projection. A tongue-like projection can be seen guarding the mandibular foramen. Lingula. Lingula gives attachment to sphenomandibular ligament. A ligament named sphenomandibular, from the sphenoid to the mandible. Sphenomandibular ligament attaches to the tongue-shaped lingula. Mylohyoid groove. Already discussed, extending from the foramen downward, there is mylohyoid groove, lodges mylohyoid nerves and vessels. Insertion of medial pterygoid muscle. At the internal aspect of angle of mandible, on the medial surface, there is a roughened area. Gives insertion of medial pterygoid muscle below the mylohyoid groove. Below and behind the mylohyoid groove, there is a roughened area for the insertion of mylohyoid muscle. Borders. The anterior border sharp and continuous downward with external oblique line. Anterior border is sharp and continuous downward with external oblique line. The posterior border. Here the attachment of at the anterior border there is the insertion of a muscle called temporalis. Insertion of temporalis. Posterior border is rounded, extends from condyloid process to angle of mandible. relation parotid gland related to it. Angle of mandible. The inferior border makes an angle with posterior border. Inferior border makes an angle with posterior border. Angle gives attachment to stylomandibular ligament. From the styloid process of temporal bone to mandible, stylomandibular ligament. Upper border or superior border, mandibular incisure, otherwise known as mandibular incisure, possess a mandibular notch. Depression is mandibular notch or mandibular incisure with coronoid process in front, condyloid process behind. Mandibular notch transmits masseteric nerves